Jada. But as always, we are here to talk football. And when we start talking football, every game always starts with a coin toss. Yeah, buddy. The coin toss, where we get you started on some of the football news. And Bobby, I'm glad you're here because we're talking about your boys. Can you believe it? Miami is 3-0. It begs the question. Delilah, I'm coming to you first. Is Miami the best team in the NFL at 3-0 right now?
I mean, right now they're sure making a case for themselves, right? Like, I think it's kind of what a lot of us kind of were saying. Like, not a lot of us were Tua doubters. It was more like we knew he needed a team because this is the guy that won with Bama. Sorry, Anthony. But like,
you had to steal my joy, didn't you?
I'm sorry, but it's true, right? We know this kid could ball out. He did it in Alabama. They built a team around him, and he did what he had to do. And the same thing happened in Miami, right? In the beginning, they weren't sure they were going to go with him, right? Remember, they kind of flipped and flopped between two quarterbacks, and finally they settled. And then they started getting pieces. And a lot of people were making fun of Tyreek going over there, but who's laughing now, right? Because obviously Tyreek Hill knew what a lot of people were kind of making fun of, that guy could get it done, So I think that regardless of what people think, like, they've been playing consistent, they've been playing good football. No team has been perfect, but so far they're 3-0, right? And we've always talked on this show, a win is a win. And regardless of what the Bills did, at the end of the day, it came down to what I said was going to happen. And people thought I was crazy because I had picked Miami to win. And I said it wasn't going to be high scoring and it would be really close. Now, I didn't think it was to be by 2 points, but I did say like a field goal or a touchdown. And that's exactly what happened. I knew that there was no way the Bills were going to walk in and just steamroll this Miami team, not just the way they've been playing. And so, for some reason, people still don't take them seriously, even though they beat a good team, regardless of how many, right? I mean, who here hasn't won Fast and the Furious? What did he say? It doesn't matter if you win by a mile or an inch. A win is a win, right? That's all that matters in the end of the day. And so the fact that people still keep insisting of taking away his flowers, the flowers for his team, I don't understand it, right? It's just straight up hating, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right. They played balls to the wall, and it started a week ago, down 28-7, down 35-14 against the Ravens. They came back and showed that Tua is definitely absolutely legit. I do have to bring this up. What David is saying. That defense for Buffalo was down. We know about Micah Hyde. We know about.
Stop it, Skip Bayless. Stop it right now, Skip Bayless. That sound very much like Nick Saban and them guys that can't spell elephant, so they cheer for laundry detergent. Talk about they lost the national championship because
at the end of the day, you have to break it down to football.
You do.
The best ability is availability. So if these guys aren't here, that's going to shut some things down. Look, we got to remember they crushed the Rams 31-10. We got to remember a week ago they crushed Titans 41-7. You know what I mean? So that defense, if healthy, is legit. But they were not able to get it done. Anthony, come on, talk to me, because I know these Bama receivers. Everybody's talking about that.
See, what I was gonna say, you cut me off. I don't normally let Skip Bayless cut me off, but I'm gonna let you do it today since you're moderating, and you can cut my camera off at any time. But what I was gonna say is, somebody down in Alabama said we could have won a national championship, but our 2 number 1 receivers was both hurt. What happened to next man up? That's all I want to know. I know your defense is whatever, but these guys get paid a lot of money. Even the third string guys play for 5 years and make more money than I'm gonna make in my lifetime with my office job. Step up. You're supposed to be the best. Show the best. Now it goes, and now Delilah, to jump on what you were saying a minute ago about doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Somebody else from Philadelphia said, sorry for the Philadelphia reference, Sean, but somebody from Philadelphia said it doesn't matter how hard you can get hit, how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And that's what the Miami Dolphins are doing. Come on, think about it. They beat. You talked about the Ravens. The Ravens came out of the gate and everybody was like, okay, that's the AFC against the Bills for the AFC championship. That's basically what they said. They came out, they beat the Bills. They beat the Eagles. And then they turned around and they beat the Ravens. So now the question is, who's gonna step up? Because that was supposed to be the cream of the crop. Because the Chiefs are still good, but they're not where they used to be. Denver still working on the Russell Wilson experiment. I'm gonna have to go with yes right now. I'm gonna have to say yes. As
At
much
least
as
on the
I hate to
AFC side, right?
And the AFC, right?
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, because we have exercised the demons of 2-26 from 2017, but that still hurt to watch him hit your boy in the corner, sneaking behind the. Ain't nobody hating on nothing. You be quiet.
He said they hate. But look, there is some still, and this is Delilah, where you're absolutely correct. There is still hate on Tua, and I don't understand it. One of the things that he showed us this weekend is that he's absolutely one of the toughest guys out there. After that hit he took, he got rocked. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But if they are clicking on all cylinders, that offense, they cannot be stopped.
Nope.
And that defense is no slouch either. Miami is legit. You know what I mean? Like, so, hey, look, we will see how this is going to play out later in the year. They're 3-0. They've been able to answer the assignment every single week thus far, but it is a long season.
Yes, it is.
As we've seen, as we're about to talk about, sometimes in that season, people take some shots and they get hit. Ladies and gentlemen, in this game, Tua took a nasty hit from Milano, drove him down into the ground. I don't have that clip, but I do have the clip of Tua getting up after and trying to walk it off. And I'm just going to play it. Anthony, I'm going to come to you first and just your immediate reaction if this is your quarterback and you see him do this.
You need to go sit down somewhere is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Coach, somebody needs to come look at him and take him in the tent.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember in Friday when Debo got KTFO and when he sat up and he went, ugh, that's just what Tua did. He got up and he fell back down. No, man, he should not have been allowed to continue playing until he got a good hard looking at.
Yeah, he needs to. They need to. And yeah, I've seen this too, David. They're saying it was his back, which makes more sense. I was livid that they let him keep playing. Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, whether or not it was his back, to see him get up like that and Delilah coming to you, it's like the baby duckling or the little fawn that just came out that's really wobbly leg. Like, you don't want to have somebody come on the field looking like that.
Reggie Bush comes to mind. I'm not even trying to dog Reggie Bush.
Yeah,
Bush took that hit. No, Reggie Bush took that hit.
He did.
He immediately, he tried to get up and he went straight back down.
Right back down, yeah.
Like, yeah, and that's something. That's something. I'm sorry, Delilah. I just talked.
No, you're right though. I have no hate on Reggie Bush. I like him, so that's fine. Yeah. Listen, I honestly like. Now Tua and all of Miami to keep insisting that was his back. But I guess what people are wondering, like, even if it was his back, why they didn't follow concussion protocol regardless? Just because of like the wobbly. So people are just questioning like how fast he came out. And so that's why now the National Players Association, right, is investigating like how Miami kind of handled the evaluation. Now they're saying it could take 1 to 2 weeks. So whatever they come back with, we're not going to know right away. But this isn't the NFL, right? This is the Players Association who look after players' health, right? Like they're the ones who kind of are the ones that are always fighting for players, right? Players' rights, policies, right? They're the ones who are always backing them when they run into legal issues, medical issues. And so they've launched their own investigation because they want to see what Miami's protocol is, right? And if they followed what the NFL policies are in regards to concussion protocol. And I might come back that Miami was saying the truth the whole time, right? That it's his back or whatever, but that's what everybody's saying. So I guess we'll see, right? Like they're saying it take 1 to 2 weeks, so we'll see what they come up with. So again, this isn't like the NFL. This is the national, the NFL Players Association. It's basically like if anybody knows anything about like workers' rights and things like that, it's basically what the what this group does, right? They're supposed to be there for the football players, and so
Right.
they're the ones who decided that they're going to check to make sure that they follow through. It's not because they're being malicious; it's because they're trying to make sure that Tua didn't go back in the field when he shouldn't have, right? I think that that's something that people need to understand. Like, they're not being malicious; they want to make sure. Right. They want to make sure that they're not forcing players to play when they shouldn't be playing. Right. Because as much as we want the wins, as much as we want to see guys get back up, the fact is that this isn't the 1940, 50, 67, right, anymore, where people, they didn't care about players' health. And we see what older players say today, that they wish that they had this type of safety now, that players have now then, because a lot of them ended up, as we know, with a lot of health issues, right? Ended up with like all these problems, weren't taken care of. And so now it's different. So they just want to make sure that he's okay, and that, that they're following what they're supposed to. So again, it's not anything malicious. They just want to make sure the players are being taken care of, and then that they're not playing when they shouldn't be playing, right? And that they're, especially concussions, right? That's really not something to kind of joke and play around with.
No, not at all.
So we'll see what happens. What they come back with, what the investigation says. So
you don't want to see Tua in a 30 for 30 later on down the road, and he's got to wearing a back brace or having constant ringing in his head. I mean, Howie Long talks about how many drugs he has to take.
He does.
How many drugs he has to take just to get out of bed, and how many drugs he has to take just to get through a Sunday taping after all that he put his body through. I mean, I remember what was his name? Was it Jack Ham, Sean, that played in the Super Bowl with the cast on his leg?
Oh, Jack Youngblood of the Rams.
Youngblood, yeah.
Broke his leg before the Super Bowl and still played.
Right. That's crazy.
Different human being.
Broke a finger and just go to the sideline and then tape them both together, and then the guys look like they're throwing up gang signs now at 60 years old. Not to make fun of it, but you got to take care of these guys.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He said he didn't look concussed at all in the second half. You got to believe there's no way he wouldn't have been back out there if he had had issues, as Mike McDonald has said. Well, hey, they'll see. Just like Delilah said, they're gonna do their investigation and look into it, and we'll figure out. We'll definitely report on this later. But it's definitely something that we are looking into. Like Delilah said, this is a new era. Back in the day, they did not care as much. Last year, with all of the advanced research that we've done with the helmets, the NFL had the lowest concussion total in history. And that's a good thing. We're going in the right direction. But there's only so far we can go. It's still a very violent sport, but they're definitely trying. So I like that. We will definitely fill you guys in on that a little bit later. One more thing we did want to talk about. We talked about Miami and how good they were. Well, there's another team that's not too great. Our good old buddy Nicholas Rosario says they are trash. They are through. Janae was pretty upset. That's one of her teams, and they are just not doing great. The Raiders, look, they what can I say? What, Delilah? They're toast. They're 0-3. We talked about them struggling, but this, come on now. Can you explain this to me, please?
Honestly, no, because they're literally set up to win. So it's I think that's why people are struggling, right? Like they have the offense literally built for them, right? Their defense is pretty decent, right? Pretty solid. And so the fact that they keep losing, like, I just think that a lot of people are really surprised. Like, I didn't think they'd go 0-3. Did I think they'd have a great season? No. But I honestly didn't think they'd be 0-3 right now. Now, things change. Like, we've seen teams make runs, but statistically it's not in their favor. Like, that's just, like, the stats are not in their favor. Now, obviously things get broken all the time, right? People come back, it's just miracles happen, but I don't know, man. It's unbelievable, right? Like, I think people thought that Devontae Adams was going to be like this magic potion. And like, my warning was exactly the same. Like, be careful. It's like, I know that they played in college, but that was a long time ago. And the NFL is just a different level, right? It's just a different type of ball game. And like, the way Devontae meshed with Rodgers was different. And we see that on both sides, by the way. We know he's missing him over here in Green Bay.
And they played together for a long time too. So
yeah, and so they just clicked, and I really questioned that clicking and I've been right so far. He's had what they had like 30 yards or something last game. Like
36 yards on 5
yeah,
catches.
it's been ridiculous. Think about that. This is Devontae Adams, who year after year after year, seasons after seasons with Green Bay, was always a top 2 receiver. Always either came in first, briefly came in second, the Cooper Cup, but even then, like, he's still top list. He always came in literally in first place for years. And I saw him demolish people all the time and just jump over defenders and do crazy, crazy stuff. And so, like, and I didn't think that was going to transfer to the Raiders, and it hasn't. And so, like, I think they thought he was going to be a magic potion, and it's not working out that way. Like, I don't know what they're doing in practice. I mean, and now Renfro is questionable, right? Like, he might be injured, so I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's not looking good. I also was like, I didn't think that Derek Carr would hit that 4,000 mark, and so far I'm also correct on that. I don't think he's gonna hit that 4,000 that people thought, but like, I don't know, it's just instincts of watching this guy ball out for years against the Bears, and so I was like, I just didn't think that would transfer, and so I don't know what they're gonna do, but like, they gotta figure out something. Like,
they have to figure it out quick.
They gotta figure it out.
In the AFC West,
0-3?
You cannot afford. That's a death sentence in the AFC West. And look, you lose to the Chargers in that first game. And okay, I understand that the Chargers are up and coming, but then the Cardinals game, and to lose the way you did. And Anthony, I'm coming to you because in this game they were up 23-7 at one point, and they must have thought it was Mr. 305 popping bottles and whatnot in the crowd, and then all of a sudden the Cardinals come all the way back and beat them. And this game, they had an opportunity late and then ended up choking in the end, not getting the 2-point conversion. The Raiders are they've been in every single game, but they cannot afford to go down like this. Are they tanking this year, or can they get it back together?
I'm gonna answer your question, but I want to know why you come to me with a question and lead in with the 23-7 lead. Like, you feel what I'm saying? It doesn't matter.
I didn't say 28-3.
It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter where. It don't matter. It don't matter where. Somebody always taking that jab right there, right in the back of the head. Now I got it. Now I got to go in concussion protocol. I can't even say protocol.
Right
now, to answer your question, I say this jokingly, but seriously, the Raiders have not been right. Remember when their coach held the funeral? He made them bury a football. He had a funeral for their bad season. Who was coaching for them back then? That was the year Antonio Brown finally started showing signs that something was not right with the thing with the helmet, and then he froze his feet, and then the other stuff. But they had a funeral they were having a bad season. I think they started off like 0-4, 0-5, and their coach made the whole team gather around in a field, and they took a football and they dug a hole and they put the ball in the hole, and they said, we are burying this bad season and we are moving forward. And I think they might have won probably 5 or 6 games that season, and they ain't been right since then. I'm not even making that up. That was on what's the show?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What's the show?
Hard Knocks.
It was on Hard Knocks. It was on Hard Knocks for the whole world to see. Now, to answer your question, I really don't know. Derek Carr has he came into the league and they thought he was going to be a savior, and when he got hurt, I think sometimes he questions his ability. I think in here he questions his ability to get it done, because you can see no, he hasn't. So I think it's time for them to start looking at who they can pick up in the draft this year. So realistically speaking, are they tanking? No.
Right.
Because they can't come out and say they're doing. They can't come out and say they're doing that. And Brian Flores plays a whole bunch of hell.
Right. I don't think this is a Miami situation.
Yeah, Raiders have not really come off that way. They actually do try to win. Like, all the seasons watching them,
they've been in every game.
Yeah, they really try to come back and fix their season after season. I think you're right. I forgot about that Hard Knocks episode.
Yeah, they're burying the footballs and whatnot.
I watched that like I know this fool ain't bearing it. This fool is bearing the football.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
forgot
Lord,
about
have
that.
mercy.
But last year
Craziness.
though, Derek Carr was like killing it. Like he had over 3,000 yards. Like he was a top 5, quarterback always in total, right? And so like, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like they jinx themselves. Like maybe you're right.
Yeah, they got a lot of residual. Yeah, they got a lot of residual issues going on there in Las Vegas, but they got a beautiful stadium, But I do want to shout out wide receiver Mac Hollins, 8 catches, 158 yards, and a touchdown. Tar Heel alum. Glad to see he can do it. But that even goes to the point, though. I mean, people are like, "Who is this guy?" Devontae's supposed to be your leading receiver, and this guy is the one who's breaking out. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they pan out. Again, maybe a little overreaction, maybe not. It's only week 3. It's a long season. We will definitely see how this stuff plays. Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.